At the same time, the music stopped. I could very clearly hear the sound of footsteps going down the stairs. I could hear the footsteps approaching. The day the music died, and I could hear the sound of a shotgun being pumped. And they were singing. I closed my eyes, trembling and shaking. Bye, bye, some American pie. And then I couldn't hear much of anything. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Oh, hello? Is this the right place? Ah, Pig, so good of you to join us. Come have a seat, let me pour you a drink. Rooster was standing at the bar tab, acting like a bartender. Been watching Noir recently? How did you know? Just a guess. Well, it's good to see you guys. Surprised we're allowed to enter this place. Thought the police would be keeping it under surveillance. We were, but it became pretty clear pretty soon that Dog didn't plan on returning to his bar when he was on the run from the state. So if no one's here running this place, how is it all unlocked? Locks are really more of a suggestion than anything. Anyway, is this everybody? Everybody who we know is still alive, at any rate. Don't speak like that. I'm sure Mouse, Snake, and Dragon are still alive. Unfortunately, the odds of that drop day by day. Ox? Since when did you become such a pessimist? We talked back in that high school, right? Anyways, I also don't think Dog planned on killing those three when he kidnapped them. But the practicalities of keeping 3 grown adults as hostages for weeks are quite difficult. If they don't show up soon. Or maybe this is the matter that Dog wishes to speak with us about. I imagine he didn't call us here for no good reason. Yeah, about that. Are we sure this was a good idea, meeting him like this? Shouldn't we have, I don't know, brought the cops or something? Hey, we did bring a cop. Bunny's here, after all. Yeah, you got me there. Well, basically I was very strongly suggested not to contact backup. Strongly suggested? Obviously, it would be ideal to contact the correct authorities. However, Dog made it pretty clear that he wouldn't be showing hide nor hair of himself if he heard about the cops poking around. As an ex-cop himself, he probably has connections that could inform him if we tried anything. At this point, I think it's just best to comply. This feels unwise. Yeah, I thought we didn't negotiate with terrorists. Well, Dog should be showing up soon, right? And we'll start to get some answers about this whole crazy incident. We can finally wrap things up, ending things for good. Oh, we'll be bringing things to an end, all right. What? A wave of panic shot through the room as people got flashbacks to the last time they heard a digitally altered voice. However, before anything could be done, the entire room flashed bright and filled with smoke. Oh no. The group was in chaos. There was pushing, shouting, screaming. The sounds of loud electric shocks. One by one, the sound of bodies hitting the floor echoed through the bar. The lights flickered out, and the already prone bodies were put to sleep for sure. It was a wipe. What? Waking up in an unfamiliar environment after being electrocuted, bound, and gagged isn't something you should feel déjà vu about. However, as my head spun, I felt just like I did when I woke up in Brian's Crazy Death game. As I looked around my surroundings, my similarities didn't end there. I realized I was in another classroom. I realized there was something strapped to my stomach under my shirt. I saw a computer with a mouse image attached to it. What? No. No, 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 no. No, there's no way. This couldn't be happening. Not again. Not again. I began to hyperventilate. I felt like a compressor in my stomach was squeezing me to death. I physically felt ill, like vomiting. Actually? Yeah, no, I was about to vomit. I've heard some people describe vomiting as cathartic. Those people should be locked in a prison on an island forever. It's a horrid feeling, your insides falling out of you. When it was done, I didn't feel better, but much, much worse. My head felt so heavy, I almost fell right onto the puddle of vomit. Why? What did I ever do to deserve all of this? Why can't I just get my life back? I never did anything wrong. I was a good kid. I had a life. friends, dreams, enemies, struggles, fears, deadlines. My life felt like a slog at times, but at least it was my life. Never before had I so desperately wanted something. I just wanted to return to normal. I didn't want to do this. But how productive is this? Like a switch had been flipped, my body stopped shivering. That's right, me. It's a talent of yours. You can flip that fear switch off. Freaking out accomplished nothing. You could only move forward with a steady hand. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay. Thought about what had happened. I didn't freak out over remembering the death of Dog. I knew my technique had worked. Still, I felt bad about it. Dog. He was a weird dude. He had kidnapped me without my consent for seemingly half-decent reasons, but there was definitely more to it than that. He had known a lot of dirty secrets for a lot of time. He claimed not to care much for life, but look at fear that crossed his face that day. No one deserved that. In the end, he was someone who had been murdered. He would be missed. Thinking any more about his death would be a waste. So what was strapped to my stomach? I lifted up my shirt and took a look. It was some sort of metal device. If we were to go by precedent, it was probably a device that could kill me. Awesome. Is it even worth trying to get it off me when I already knew the outcome of such an attempt? Probably not. Decided to go check on the computer. Last time it was a tablet, now a computer. Tried interacting with it, but it was powered down. Great. Well, there was but so much that could be done inside the classroom. At some point, I need to move forwards. Exiting the classroom, I found myself in a hallway. It was at this point I was certain that this school was a separate one from the place I had previously been imprisoned on. It was clearly on the first floor of the building. It was hard to tell from my current location, but it seemed like this school was a lot smaller than the one I had been at before. Looking on the ground, I noticed a trail of taped arrows leading me, well, somewhere. I guess that's where I was supposed to go. However, before I could move anywhere, I noticed a familiar face walk out of a nearby classroom. Ox! Mouse! Need to see someone I knew, I rushed over and hugged him. He responded a little awkwardly, but ultimately he responded by embracing me in kind. I'm so glad to finally see somebody else. And I'm glad to know you're not dead. Although I must say, I have a number of questions. Yeah, that makes two of us. Seems we keep finding ourselves in thoroughly unreasonable situations, huh? Indeed. Say, why is this school empty? Is it not a school day? Mouse, how could you be so foolish? It's winter break. Really? I swear it hasn't been that long since the Zodiac Race. It has. Maybe winter break starts earlier nowadays. Anyways, probably more important things to talk about. Is that lost time? Indeed. I gave Ox the short version of everything that had happened with me. As I explained it to him, he nodded as if he expected something like what I was saying. In turn, he gave a brief recap of everything that had occurred on the outside since I was kidnapped. He also talked about how all the past victims had been summoned to Dog's Bar. How another mysterious voice played on the speaker, and how they were all ambushed. So, basically it looks like it's starting up again. Ox took a deep sigh. That would appear to be the case, yes. To what end I remain entirely uncertain. The supposed mastermind of the previous incident should be dead, and yet here we all are. A true mystery. At this point, I think we really don't have any choice but to roll with the punches. That's about where I'm at with things at this point. But hey, if we're doing a repeat, we should all be able to get out again, right? If we're doing a repeat. Well, I admire that you're able to bounce back from being cast into hell so quickly. Pouting's not going to solve anything, right? My father used to say that the only way out when you're in the middle of the forest is through. I suppose you're correct. As absurd as it is, we've not much choice but to play the proverbial game once more. Very well then. Suppose these arrows are leading us to the start line again. Would stand to reason. Resigned to our fate, we followed the arrows. It took us down a long, straight, widening hallway and passed by a number of classrooms. Eventually we took a right turn, and then two left turns up a short staircase that brought us to a second floor. Moving a bit forwards from there, the arrows led into a library. In that library were 9 familiar faces. Mouse! Ox! Ah, there you two are. I was wondering when you'd join us. So we really were all brought back. Were you expecting something else? God, this fucking blows. Anyways, I guess it's nice to see that you haven't died yet, Mouse. What about you? I haven't died yet either, jackass. You can go fuck off and die anytime you want, you classist prick. Okay then. This feels oddly familiar. I don't mean that it's a good thing. It's almost like all that work we did not to die the first time was for nothing. Almost. So all of us were brought back. Except for Dog, which, makes sense. Actually, Pig looks sick. Oh no. He was brought here, just not... I didn't need to finish their sentence. Christ, that's fucked up. What's the point of transporting a corpse like that? To keep things truly thematic, I suppose. I guess. In the back of the room, Rooster was leaning against a wall, looking furious. Well, it was an understandable reaction, compared to how he took things seemingly in stride last time. Are you okay there, Rooster? Okay? Do I look okay to you? Fuck! Things are finally going right again, and then this bullshit starts up again. The hell is this? Dying before was one thing, but now that my star was finally starting to rise... Hey, calm down. We got through things before, right? We can do it again. Seriously, Mouse? You told me to face reality last time, I think. Well, who's not facing reality now? We got through things last time by a fluke, a random loophole we were lucky enough to catch early on. You really think things will go that smoothly this time? That's... Before I could say anything else, a voice played over the speakers. Attention, bidders. Please be silent. A very important announcement is about to begin. Anyone who disrupts said announcement shall be punished. And just like that, a projector stacked on a bookshelf turned on and began to project a bizarre video on the whiteboard. Oh, hello, cat. Last time we were greeted with a live feed of Brian in a mask and a hoodie. This time, however, we were shown an image of what looked like a cat burning in hell, drawn in a very crude art style. Gothic horror wouldn't be the term to describe this style. Snake would be better suited to describe it than me. Hello, dear friends. Glad to see you all back together again. I'm sure you missed each other. And I'm sure you missed the thrill of the race. I know you previously met with the Jade Emperor. He put you all on trial and you passed his gauntlet fine enough. So then are you all free to rejoin the world? I think not. I think he was too kind on my fellow sinners. And so it falls on me, the cat, to truly put you all to the test. I'm sure you're... Suddenly Monkey spoke out. Okay, that's enough. I can't do this whole thing again, Monkey. Whoever's behind this, stop hiding behind these masks. I'm sure with an earnest discussion we could figure out how... Ah! All of a sudden, Monkey winced in pain, clutching her stomach. That, my friends, is what you call a warning. The next person to interrupt my explanation will be silenced in a much more permanent manner. We all got the point. Very well then, I understand that you have all been through a similar experience before. No need to slow things down going through all the gritty details. You all already know that the device strapped around your stomach cannot be removed. You all already know that it can be used to execute any of you at will. You all already know that exiting the building before the game is finished will result in execution. Let's just get to the juicy bits, shall we? That is to say, the rules of the game you will all be facing off in. The rules of the Zodiac bid. The screen changes to an image of a wheel with the Zodiac animals all wrapped around it. First things first, I want to explain how scoring will work in this game. It's a little complicated and is absolutely critical to understanding how to play, so we'll start with this. Throughout the game, you may be able to collect animal cards. The thing about these cards, though, is that their point value is dependent on who has them. Let me explain through an example. Say the mouse collects a mouse card. To her, it will be worth 3 points. Say she also collects an ox card and a pig card. Since each of these animals is 1 space away from her on the wheel, these cards will be worth 2 points each. Following this pattern, to her, the tiger or the dog card would be worth 1 point. Are we really out here about to play a whole other game? I did not expect this. The bunny and the monkey would be worth nothing. The dragon and the rooster would be worth -1 point. The snake and the sheep would be worth -2 points. And the horse would be worth a full -3 points. However, as I said, the points awarded to a card is based on distance from the Zodiac wheel, from the owner. So if ox or pig got their hands on a mouse card, it would be worth 2 points. If the horse got their hands on a mouse card, it would be worth -3 points. Simple, is it not? Relatively. If you understand these basic rules, you already understand half the game. This game will take place over the course of 12 rounds. There are a total of 48 cards, 4 cards of every animal. First 2 rounds, 9 cards will be dealt on the communal table. The next 3 rounds, 6 cards will be dealt. The next 4 rounds, 3 cards will be dealt. The final 3 rounds will commence without any cards being dealt. Every round will last 30 minutes. At the end of the round, the cards present on the communal table will be displayed on everyone's computer. Then for the next 33 seconds, everyone will be forced to take an action. Failure to take an action in a round will result in an execution. Operating a computer that doesn't correspond to your animal will result in an execution. There are a total of 4 actions you can take during a round. You can attempt to take any card currently on the communal table. If you're the only person to take that card, congratulations, it is transferred to your hand. However, if multiple people attempt to take the same card, it will be ripped at the struggle, and nobody will receive the card. If nobody attempts to take a card, the card will remain on the communal table until someone attempts to take it. If you have cards in your hand, you can choose to set a card on the communal table. If you do this, the card will appear on the communal table in future rounds until it is taken. Alternatively, you could just directly give a card to a fellow player. That will transfer the card directly from your hand to theirs. Finally, if all this card transferring business is too much for you, you could always choose to check another player. If you do this, you'll learn how many cards that person has in their hand. It's not the only way of getting info. At the end of even-numbered rounds, the current point total of every player will be projected in this room. Anyways, the game continues until somebody can amass a hand worth 9 points. At that time, the animal with the winning hand will be considered the dominant animal. Then we'll check who has dominant animal cards in their hand. Oh, whoever has the most dominant animal cards in their hand will be proclaimed the winner. In the case of a tie, there can be multiple winners. The winners will be able to leave this building peacefully. On the other hand, all non-winners will be faced with execution. How exciting. So that's that, basically. The rules are pretty simple, don't you think? Anyways, the first round will begin shortly. Oh, I suppose there are 2 more things I should mention. Firstly, if all 12 rounds pass without somebody assembling a 9-point hand, I'll just have to declare the game null and void. In that case, I'll just execute everybody. Secondly, it'd be mean if people got caught off guard by the action phase of the round starting. To help with that, a warning will play throughout the school 2 minutes before the action phase begins. Okay then, ready to have some fun? No. Show me a game that's a little less predictable, why don't you? And just like that, the projection shut down. Well, that was something. Okay, temperature check real quick. Not saying that the Zodiac Race was all that better or anything, but at least it kind of had the air of some sort of final judgment thing. It just feels like we're on a bad game show, right? I mean, am I imagining this? Is it just me? Because I feel like it's incredible how much less authentic this feels. Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. This seems different somehow. I remain unsure if this game is more artistic or less than the one we have faced before. However, whatever the case may be, the truth remains unaltered. We shall have to face this game down head-on. Hey, but we can do that real easy, right? I mean, even I get to what we need to do, and I'm not even all that smart. The cat said if there's a tie in terms of who has the most dominant animal cards, everyone can win. Which means so long as nobody takes the winner's card, we can all get out alive. Right? However, the winner's card will be the easiest way for the winner to get to the needed 9 points, no? This is not an issue to consider. There's still the cards worth 2 points and 1 point to the winner. Somebody can get a total of 24 points without getting a single card of their own. However, things aren't just going to end here, are they? Huh? Horse is right. Last time the Jade Emperor added a rule later on which made me an Ox traitor. Probably going to do something like that again. But unlike last time, it doesn't sound like there's any items or anything that will let us fix that. Are we really going to be alright? Okay, everybody, listen up. We really don't have the time to lose on the typical petty squabbling or banter which constituted much of our time the last erotic death game we were all put into. Rules this time are harsher and the time limits are tighter. If the cretin behind this game decides to later alter this game from a team effort to a lynching, well, there's not much we can do. Instead, we simply need to establish and follow an optimal strategy. In this case, doing so is not a particularly difficult mission. First off, we need to choose somebody to be a designated winner. For the sake of ease, let's just say that person will be Tiger. She's like our mascot, no? Then let's go with her. Hell yeah! Now the cards that will score for Tiger, other than Tiger cards, are the Mouse, Ox, Bunny, and Dragon cards. Therefore, Mouse, myself, Bunny, and Dragon will be responsible for picking up our own type of card when it appears and gifting it to Tiger. For the sake of things, Pig and Snake can also pick up their own type of card and gift it to Tiger, as those will be neutral to her score. As for everybody else, your job will be to simply not interfere. Check somebody on round when there's nothing to do. On the other hand, if a Tiger card shows up, everybody not assigned a task should try and take it. That will inevitably result in the Tiger card being ripped up. This method it's inevitable that Tiger will eventually win without a single Tiger card landing in somebody's hands. Really just taking control of the group, are ya? Please don't do this. We don't have time. Does anybody have any actionable objections to my plan? It seems a sensible enough strategy. I think it makes sense. I see no issues. Great. Then in that case, we've got a plan. So okay then. Do whatever you want until the 2-minute warning. And like that, people began to disperse. Class dismissed. Frankly, I wasn't so confident that everything would go nearly as cleanly as Ox claimed it would. I was also still confused about so many points. There were a lot of mysteries about, and I could feel myself on the cusp of solving at least a few of them. He had to lie with the incident surrounding Amadeus Bowen's murder. To get to the bottom of it, I needed to interrogate more people. So it's just a matter of who to talk to. Oh boy, that's a big list. Guess let's start with Ox. Ox prosecuted Mr. Morris. He should have a thorough grasp of the case. Decided to find him and talk to him about his perspective on all this. How certain am I that Aaron Morris is the culprit? For all this, I'd say 100%. And now? Perhaps 95%. It's only 5% lower? Look, the possibility of a grand conspiracy is certainly present, I'll grant you. But I also oversaw a lot of the evidence, looked through it myself. According to your story, the chief of police might have been trying to give his case a decisive edge, but it's not like he didn't have good reason. may have wanted to prevent the bit about the knife coming out. It was also pretty clear who the killer had to be. None of the people involved had much of a connection before this, so the possibility of accomplices is minimal. The whole cavalcade of evidence points to Aaron Morris, and it's impossible for anyone else to have done it. That's the thing, though. Isn't it kind of suspicious just how obvious Morris was? Sorry, I paused awkwardly there. Wouldn't he have hidden it better? Couldn't have known he'd be found out so quickly. Okay, but there are still things he could have done better. Like, why send that delayed text to Snake? Doesn't that speed up the process of everybody realizing that Bowen was missing? The biggest mistake you're making in all of this is taking Snake and Tiger's testimonies for granted. A reasonable person with knowledge of the schedule would probably know to be wary that you might be seen through the waiting rooms. Sorry. However, he couldn't have expected that Snake would have been such a vigilant watcher, and not just look on his phone, or sit in a position that wouldn't give him a constant view of the room. Nobody could have. He couldn't have anticipated Rooster barging into the office like that. He couldn't have anticipated Bunny finding the body so quickly. Snake seeing nobody in the office would reinforce his dumb story about Bowen being out of the office when Morris entered. Would have written it off as Bowen having left the office at some point, probably when Sheep went to get breakfast on the first floor as usual. Bowen going missing would be a lot broader. And he still had the stolen MasterCard, so he could come back at a later date to dispose of the body, not just leave it in the safe like that. I guess when you put it like that, it makes more sense. Face it, Mouse, we got the right man the first time. He had the motive. He was the one who could have stolen all the money out of the safe. He had the bills found in his car. He did it. And if you did get the wrong man, if you had a hand in the execution of an innocent person, would you be able to admit it? What are you talking about? Of course I'd admit it. Why wouldn't I? Ooh. Just think about it. What do you mean? Obviously there's a lot going on right now. I don't want to add more to your pile, but I think that's a question that maybe you should consider when you have more time. Okay, I will. Everything settled, I left Ox to himself. Alright, Tiger. Tiger was another key witness in this incident. She probably had some insights worth discussing. I paid her a visit in the classroom she was lounging in. That old thing? I really wish people would quit asking me about it. I mean, I get it, I know it's important. My memory's really not the best, you know? Well, you don't need to run down the whole thing. I just have a few questions for you. Alright, shoot. I feel dumb about what I'm about to ask now. What? Mouse, don't say that. Believe in yourself. I'm sure you're going to ask a great question. Okay, then. Are you sure you didn't see anyone else enter Bowen's office? Of course. What are you talking about? I definitely would have mentioned something like that to the police. Figured. But you would have seen it, right? If someone did enter? No, totally. I was reading a magazine they had laid out, but it was like light reading. I was directly facing the door window. When Bowen's office door opens, it swings all the way out to cover the window. Honestly, a bit of a design flaw, if you ask me. Anyways, I definitely took note every time that happened. What about the outside window? Were you looking through that? No. Why? Is it relevant? Probably not. I guess I just wanted to ask. Alright then. Anything else? One other thing. Columbo style. You waited until the cops were already in the building before you left the waiting room, right? Uh-huh. So, why'd you do that? I don't know. I had nowhere else to be that day. Or wasn't told to leave. I guess that makes sense. That's about it. Great, hope that helped. Thanks for indulging me. No problem. Honestly, anything to take my mind off this situation. First time, cute. This time, kinda infuriating. I'm trying to keep my cool, but yeesh, it's not easy. Sometimes I feels like my emotions are just moving my body for me. Considered going to anger management. Anger management? Why would I need something silly like that? I mean, what you just said sounds a little disturbing. I don't think looking into anger management would hurt. At least some type of way to control your emotions. Why would I need to control my emotions? They tend to know what's best for me. Oh, well, if you say so. I don't like that answer. You should do some breathing exercises, huh? Yeah, breathing exercises. They've helped me a lot with, like, calming down and stuff. And they're not hard to remember. They'll help you cool down. A thing to help your breathing, huh? I'm not exact. Sounds fun. I'll look into it. Oh, okay then. With that, my time with Tiger came to a close. She still needs some professional help in terms of controlling her emotions. Big time. Bunny? Bunny was the actual cop in the scene, right? He ought to have some insights for me. Paid him a visit. You want to ask questions about the incident? I don't quite know how that'll help this specific situation, but sure, fire away. Bunny stood nonchalantly, leaning against the wall. He was tossing a small globe up in the air in his left hand. Well, from what I could tell, he seemed to be left-handed. I guess one of the things that stands out to me is just how quickly you were able to find Bowen's body. Yeah, being able to recover it so quickly was rather impressive. But I'm wondering specifically how you were able to find it. It's really not that big a mystery. First things first, when I heard about the missing person, I asked around to get an idea of the situation. Talked with Tiger, who was sitting near the scene, about when he was last seen. She gave me the very useful tip that she hadn't seen him leave his office. I knew the office was empty. That's why she'd called me. With the witness telling me that the man should have still been in there, I thought it wise to really look around in there. When I saw the safe, when I saw that it was life-sized, well, I just had to check it out. And how did you open it? I borrowed the master keys from Sheep. Master keys? Yeah, they could unlock and unlock pretty much anything in the building. Including the safe. With them, you don't need to know the safe's passcode. Seems pretty irresponsible to let those also access the safe. I guess Bowen trusted Sheep. Alright then. I guess that all adds up. You pass. I pass? Well, good for me. Good for you. So I heard about everything Dog said from Snake and Dragon. Oh? Yeah, they kind of explained that situation to the group. That's nice. I suppose you think I'm pretty scummy, huh? I mean, I'm sort of complicit in the whole corrupt police force thing, yeah? Dog wasn't lying about all that. It's pretty bad. They do blackmail you. I've been trying to help things from the inside, but I'm pretty much trash, huh? First I have to answer, I know you're looking for me to sugarcoat things here. I don't really feel like doing that. You hit the nail on the head there. I figured. I didn't expect you to forgive me. Good. And just like that, I walked away from him. Bye, Bunny. Okay, we'll be a little bit middle of the road. It depends. What does that mean? At the moment, yeah, you're looking pretty bad. I don't think you can ever stray so far off the path that you can't get back on it. You say you've been trying to help from the inside? Then if you actually, help from the inside, I think you can still turn things around. But that's... I'm not saying it's gonna be easy. I'm saying that if you want to not be trash, that's what you have to do. And just like that, I walked away from him. Dragon. Girl. I still couldn't fit Dragon into the puzzle. For that reason alone, I needed to talk to her. She didn't look all too pleased to see me. Don't you have better things to do? Whatever. Ask away. Thank you, Dragon. Yeah, just get on with it. I mean, to put it simply, are you sure you have no connection to all this? No connection at all? If I knew, I'd tell you, okay? Although... Okay, actually, I do know. You do? Yeah, I heard something from Dog during our stay at his dungeon. Apparently I used to run by his bar pretty frequently around the time of the incident. Really? Yeah, and once he said that, I realized that I did recognize him. He was right. I was a semi-regular customer of his a while back. This place was usually the end of my bar crawls, not the start of them. I hardly remember anything from that time. I mean, that's a connection. That's gotta be why you were brought. But then something important must have happened there. You think I don't know that, dickwad? Since Dog told me that, I've been focusing, thinking. Something must have happened one of those nights. Something that... Oh, it's just not coming to me. I think there's a chance I saw something. Saw somebody. Despite my best efforts, it's not coming to me. Maybe somebody doesn't know that. Huh? Forget it. This whole thing's bullshit. It is. Still, I'm probably dealing with this better than you all. After all, I'm used to living in danger. Because you're a gang leader, right? Pretty much. You should really quit that. Oh, really? Thanks, I didn't think of it. I'm serious. Give me one good reason why I should stop. My gang's safety? How are they going to be more safe when I'm not leading them? Maybe you should tell them to quit it as well. That'd go over real well. Just saying, you got a lot of influence. You do a lot of good. Or, keep going at the rate you're going, you could get a bunch of your friends killed. Fuck you, what do you know about loss? The hell do you think gives you the right to stick your nose in my business? I sighed and walked away. Wasn't much else I could do. Actually. What the hell's that supposed to mean? Is it being in so much danger for so long must be taking a toll on you? There's no way you like it. Nobody can like it. It's the inch away from death thing. It's always been with you. You just haven't noticed it yet. You don't want to live the rest of your life with a collar around your neck or a bomb strapped to your stomach, right? And just cut it out. Alright, Miss Lawyer. I'll be sure to take your advice. I sighed, then walked away. What happens if we... The innocent. Honestly speaking, I don't care if you or your friends or your enemies get hurt when you're all playing that same stupid game. It's 100% your prerogative. There's no way this shit doesn't also impact a bunch of innocent people just trying to get by. That's where I draw the line. Oh, good. Happy to know where you draw the line. Now, if you kindly, how about fucking off? Think of that? I sighed, then walked away. Okay. That's the, mouse chooses violence route. Stick with that. Snake! Snake was a critical witness in all this. He must have some sort of insight. However, after I found him, I was met with something of a wall. My deepest apologies, Mouse, but everything I have to say on the incident has been spoken for. At the time, my mind was elsewhere. It was not as though I was able to catch some keen details the police might have missed. I was rather zoned out, all things considered. I'm afraid my perspective won't add anything to your investigation. I sighed. I was afraid of this. Did you think this investigation was easy? By just asking the right questions, the truth would be made clear to you. I was kind of hoping for that. I'm sad to say, Mouse, for life rarely works so cleanly. It's messy, full of things you'd rather be a different way. Take my life, for instance. I spent so many years acting it as a teacher, putting my art to the side. Because of that, I feel I've never been able to reach my full potential. Have you ever seen that full smile from him? Ah, how regretful. Hasn't been a waste. Oh? So what if you haven't been doing art full time? But a teacher? Presumably a good one. That's like a super important job. You're shaping the future generation. Isn't that enough? What a hopeful take on the matter. You make me long for simpler days. With that seemingly dismissive comment, Snake dismissed me. So I left. Oh God! Oh God! Ah! Jesus Christ! If I could talk to anyone else, speakers began to blare. Ow, my ears! Guess this was the 2-minute warning the cat was referring to. Anyway, the point was made clearly. Okay. I hurried over to the classroom, which I woke up in. There I found the computer with the mouse image attached to it. Looking at the computer again, it was clear that someone had just cut out the generic mouse look and attached it to the computer. This looked a lot cheaper than the previous production. Well, I guess that was to be expected. This whole thing had a different vibe. It would have to, since it was being hosted by somebody else. It had to be. Because Brian was dead. Right? No, Ox told me that they had positively identified him in the explosion. Police had guaranteed it. Police. Before I could think about it anymore, the screen in front of me flashed to life. Time to input an action. Immediately I was a bit taken aback by how bare bones the whole production was. Just a black screen with green text I could mouse over and click on. This really was a rush job, not made by the same people. However, there was no time to focus on such details. The input window was only 33 seconds. Shockingly low. So low as to prevent you from thinking clearly. First things first, time to read the communal table. Mouse of Hearts. Ox of Hearts. Tiger of Hearts. Tiger of Clubs. Tiger of Diamonds. Tiger of Spades. Oh, Jesus Christ. Benui of Hearts. Dragon of Hearts. Snake of Hearts. The results of this communal pool were very disturbing. However, I didn't have time to contemplate it too much. My job was unchanged. I saw a mouse card, I needed to grab a mouse card. Click take, then scrolled over to the Mouse of Hearts. Like that, the computer shut off. Task done. I had time to deal with the fallout of the communal table. I already had some thoughts about it, but I imagined the group would have plenty more. Boom! Oh fuck! The hell was that? I made my way to the source of the noise, a classroom on the second floor. After looking inside, I immediately turned around. The classroom was nicely decorated. Walls were all marked with directions on the compass rose, an eastern wall, a western wall, etc. There's a big bookshelf by the door, desks for the students, and a desk for the teacher with a computer. None of that is what drew my attention. What drew my attention was Dog's flaming corpse! A few others had gathered around the scene and were experiencing similar reactions as mine. What was this? A moment's thinking led me to an answer. Of course. Failure to input an action would result in execution. Dog, being dead, couldn't exactly input a move. Circle gets the square. At the space in my head for another thought on this subject, I turned around and made my way back to the library where people were meeting. What the hell was that? You mean Dog's corpse getting blown up? No, not that. Who gives a shit about that? I'm talking about the dealt cards. I mean, what are the odds? Is everything doomed? Okay, hold on now. Let's figure out things first. Tiger, horse, sheep, rooster, monkey, you five were supposed to take tiger cards when they were placed on the table. Additionally, seeing the predicament, Snake or Pig might have decided to help out by also taking a card. So can everyone state specifically which cards they took? I just grabbed the Tiger of Hearts and it matched with the other ones. I also simply grabbed the first tiger card I saw. That is the Tiger of Hearts. I thought we needed to try and whip up the tiger cards, so I chose the Tiger of Diamonds. I decided the best was often saved for last. Hence, I took the Tiger of Spades. I also took the Tiger of Spades. I thought it the least likely card to be taken. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to be seen as suspicious or anything, so I didn't do anything. I just checked Snake. He didn't have a card. Wonder if that action determines the number of cards someone had at the start of the round or the end. That point was ambiguous. At any rate, I realized the predicament we may be getting ourselves into, and I decided to pick a tiger card. Specifically, the Tiger of Diamonds. Okay, so... sounds like everything worked out, right? Multiple people took 3 types of the tiger cards, so those should be destroyed. And nobody took the Tiger of Clubs, so we can destroy that next round. Then everything will be great. Alright. Good, good. So we're not screwed. Oh, Bunny. Must you always act so deceitfully? Huh? Oh, you're a clever one, aren't you? You should be aware that what you just described couldn't have happened. Wait, it couldn't have? Let's start with a simple fact. The distribution of those cards were anything but random. Well, I suppose the cat never explicitly stated that they would be random, so this is still above board. At any rate, they very specifically flooded us with a type of card we wanted to destroy in order to reduce our ability to destroy it. That's also the reason why the other cards were all ones that people were tasked with collecting, to reduce the amount of potential crossfire. But then here's a question. Why go through all this trouble if we're all working together? There's already a traitor in our midst. Wait, really? Last time, the traitors were assigned with a public announcement. We have no assurance that this will play by the same rules. And this game would be far too easy if there were no such traitor. Exactly. I'm surprised Horse, of all people, was the one to catch on. I could crush your head like a bug. Damn snake. At any rate, if the cat is willing to deliberately send out cards in order to mess with us, there are various other things that wouldn't exactly be against the rules. For instance, there's no rule against the cat monitoring everyone else's choices and informing the traitor of which tiger card was left unclaimed. To put it simply, we are once again facing off against an unknown enemy. So I have to suspect, Bunny, why you wouldn't point all this out. Well, it's a little thing called tact, Snake. I would think a man like yourself would know about it. Oh, but is that all it was? Is that what that was? My apologies. Rushing to the assumption that there is in fact a traitor can be dangerous. For all we know, the cards were sent this way, in order to cause chaos and disruption amongst ourselves. Let's think about how to proceed very carefully. I have an idea. Couldn't we just transition to another animal being our designated winner? I mean, it's not like there was any good reason for it to be Tiger in the first place. Hey! Could easily make it Horse, who hasn't had any cards dealt yet. But the cat is clearly watching our plans and is trying to mess us up. Who's to say that they don't do the exact same thing again? Well, this time we can come up with a more concrete plan on how to make sure the cards are destroyed? No, there's a simpler method. Look, next round we'll check if there is in fact a tiger of clubs on the communal table. If there is, then there's nothing to worry about. If there isn't, we just need to find out who has it. As the other three types of tiger cards were taken by specifically two people, if one person didn't take the card they claimed, the other person would have received the card they attempted to take. Therefore, if next round you have the card you attempted to take, you know who took it. With that in mind, the 6 people who took tiger cards should check the 6 people who didn't. See who has something that they're not supposed to. Tiger, you can check me. Snake, you check dragon. Rooster, check mouse. Monkey, check pig. Horse, check bunny. Although it's likely a moot point, sheep can check dog. This will know exactly what happened to the card. The rest of us will give Tiger our cards to try and raise her score. Even if all 4 of us do it, she'll only reach a score of 8, so we don't need to worry yet. Hell yeah, Ox, that's how you do it. New plan in place. We'll show this damn traitor that the Zodiac animals don't go down easily. The Zodiac animals? What are we, a sports team? No, it's just, a group name. But I mean, we could be a sports team. We could. We should. I'll pass. You could be the manager, Pig. But Ox's plan makes sense. I think we should go with that. Very well then. This sounds acceptable. I guess we can go with that. Rooster can be the mascot. And like that, the group order has been re-established. However, it felt markedly more fragile than before. It was a hair's breadth away from shattering. That couldn't be helped. As the group split up, I decided to resume my investigation. Oh, baby. haunts. Horse's role in all of this was heavily suspect. Why was he there in the first place? I felt like getting to the bottom of this would be an important point. You really want to talk about this? Why wouldn't I? Aren't there bigger concerns at the moment? This and that are connected. Horse merely raised an eyebrow. If you say so. Anyways, what are you asking me about? Why were you meeting with Bowen in his office so early in the morning? No, you said you were discussing construction going on at nearby his building. But that isn't the truth, is it? Nothing I know about Bowen suggests that that's how he'd handle such a matter. I suppose there's no harm in telling you here, now. In the past, I used to be a very different person. Because of that past, Bowen had, on several occasions, tried to scout me to do a certain type of work for him. I refused to. I explained to him that it wasn't really me who did all that stuff. He pushed the matter. That morning he finally found the pressure point he needed to get me to agree to his reasonable requests. He called me in to discuss it because it was the type of thing that needed to be discussed face to face. When I left his office, I was convinced I would have to work for him. Then he died a few hours later. How lucky for me. Could you tell me what that pressure point was? Or stood there in silence for a couple of seconds before responding. Mouse, if you had committed a grave sin in the past, would you be able to live with yourself? It depends. What the sin is matters a lot here, don't you think? Even if it was really if it was really bad, it's not like I'd just give up on living, you know? I guess I don't know, accept it as part of who I was? I'm just not sure. I need to know more. Horse didn't respond to this. Once it became clear he wasn't planning on responding anytime soon, I let him alone, leaving with more questions than answers. Truthfully, I couldn't. I know that's probably not the answer you're looking for. It's my answer. And Horse didn't respond. Fair enough. And I definitely have to hold myself accountable. Assuming I grew and changed from that mistake, I think I could continue to live. I mean, to not do that almost seems more selfish, you know? To wallow in self-pity, when there's good that can be done. And Horse didn't respond. I'll leave that as my canon answer. Let's get Sheep in. Sheep was Bowen's secretary. She should have known him the best. Certainly she had insights into the case. You want to talk about that? I mean, I guess. Yeah, I can answer your questions. Awesome. First up, when was the last time you had direct contact with Amadeus? It was a bit after Snake had come in. He talked with me a bit on the intercom, not really about anything productive. He didn't even bother to talk to you face to face in the morning? The sound of things, he was lying on the couch. He had a habit of doing things like that. That's an odd habit to have. Yeah, well, I don't think people really understood what Amadeus was like. I'd never met someone who was so confident at all times. And he had good reason, because no matter the situation, he was always in control. He knew how to strike at your weaknesses. He knew mine. Oh? Don't get me wrong, I could never condone murder. Never, ever. I mean, I get why Aaron did what he did. Amadeus did a lot of things I don't like to remember. He was a very, 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 very bad boss. I can't imagine how he treated Aaron. Not too badly, I imagine. Or else why'd the two go out to drink like that? It was something normal. Yeah, well, not like Amadeus always had it easy either. He had a pretty rough time of it when he was a kid. Who gives a shit? That's an understandable response. Say, Mouse, what would you do with the horrible past? How would you handle it? Me? I think this is a direct response to everyone's character arcs throughout their own respective routes. Even if it's stuff you'd rather not remember? Or what? You're gonna shy away from some memories just because they scare you? Gonna act like a baby? Oh, I've made a mistake. Look, life sucks. You go through a lot of shit. I found that generally going through that stuff makes you better, stronger, you know? Yeah, you're right. It'd be foolish to just forget the past. Obviously. Anyways, I gotta get going. Oh, okay then. I feel like that was a bit of a misleading dialogue choice because... like, remember the past and learn from it and grow from it. Expectation. Remember the past, learn from it, grow from it. Reality. Don't forget the past, you big baby. You're gonna cry. The past makes you cry, baby. Jesus Christ, Mouse. Curiosity said I left sheep to herself. Let's roll that back. Don't like that. Forget it. Just like that. Just like that. You shouldn't let your past define you. If you always look backwards, you'll never look forwards. Third bumper quote statement. Come on, sheep, you know this. Why are you asking me about it? Yeah, you're right. Dumb question, huh? You're telling me. Anyways, I gotta get going. Oh, okay then. Huh? I mean, in every hardship, there's stuff you can learn from, right? To forget that important stuff would be pretty dumb. At the same time, that doesn't mean you should hold on to things that'll just drag you down. I mean, just use your best judgment on that stuff, you know? Yeah, that makes sense. That's good advice. Of course it's good advice. I'm giving it. I'm a professional student. Anyways, I gotta get going. Oh, okay then. Curiosity sated I left sheep to herself. Okay. I think we'll leave off here for now. If we return, we'll finish off our investigation, probably. Play some more bidding games. And hopefully not die horribly. We're in the Zodiac Trial round 2. Until next time. Until then.